What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chana McCoy at the Acting Chops Network. Glad to have you back for another episode. And this time, we're going to talk about the very thing that this show is called acting chops right here. We're not going to talk about the podcast at the bottom, or we ain't going to talk about home with the industry insiders. We just want to cover the top part, acting chops, not even the network part. You know what I mean? But before we get started, y'all know what time it is. Clap time. Once again, man, I'm telling you, all actors, you need to buy yourself one of these for one reason, because you need to practice in the mirror. You know, whatever you're doing, if you're doing your monologues or whatever you're doing, just stand in front of the mirror and just clap yourself. Take two, and then just do your scene in the mirror just to get your acting game up. So this brings my attention about acting in Hollywood. Now, actors, actresses, even actresses who just want to be actors, like to call themselves, no, I'm an actor. Whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, acting is a crucial situation. Now, you have some that go to acting classes, you have some that don't. You have some that just like to just learn on the fly. You have some that sit down and they study. But acting is definitely a craft. And also, for those who don't know what acting chops is or what acting chops means, let me tell you. So if someone says, man, they got some acting chops or they got chops, that means that they are above the skill set to a point. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a skill, then there's like a skill set. So like if you got chops or you got acting chops, that means they're giving you the highest, the pinnacle compliment as an actor or an actress. So it's great when someone says, man, they got some chops or they got some acting chops. So that's a plateau that you should always think about reaching. But let's talk about acting today. I notice a lot, which goes back to the audition process. Once again, it kind of goes back to when you talk about when you pick up the phone and, you know, you're just doing your little slates and, you know, all of a sudden you got your backdrop where there's no backdrop because they want you to have a blank wall and they want you to do your self-tape. And the self-tape, again, gives you so many options, you know, so there's really no real effort because there's nothing to bounce off to. And real actors, and just say you're not even an actor, just say you're just an everyday person. You know, you need something or someone to bounce your energy off of. So if I'm talking to someone, I need someone to answer me back. Even if I'm talking to myself better have an answer. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, as actors, so when we do the self-tapes, we have no energy to bounce back off of, which makes it kind of difficult, which leads to a lot of movies and TV shows that are made because the casting director picked somebody with a self-tape who had 50 to 100 tries to get it right. You know, so that's why I say, man, acting chops, you got to have it. It is very important. It is very crucial as an actor. I personally love acting. I love being another character, but we got to do better in the game of acting. Because it's getting pretty rough. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of these Netflix shows, a lot of these Hulu movies and Tubi movies and BET movies and BET Plus movies. And the worst acting for me is like the overacting. Like, all right, yes, you must. And, you know, it's like, why are you overacting? And why are you yelling all the time? And you know what I mean? Or why, when you act, you sound like you're reading what does that say, right? I am worthy of the hammer of Thor. Yes, bring me the power. Yes, that's what it sounds like. You sound like you're either reading from a monitor or someone's holding some giant cue cards. So we got to do better as actors in Hollywood. You know, take it from me, who was a I was a character as a kid. I was a big nerd. So yeah, I was into anime and comic books and cartoons and all the Sunday newspapers used to come to the door. I used to snatch all the Sunday papers. I used to run through the house in the underoos, and I used to swear I was Spider-Man and falling off things. I was acting then, not even realizing that I was being a character. But also, I was learning that characters had certain emotions and levels and things to them. So you had to be like a heartbeat or just the rhythm of a heartbeat on a monitor. You had to have levels. You had to go up and down, just like you see, when you read the monitor when someone's heart is beating. But a lot of people are just kind of flat, or they're just very high, over the top, like mountain peak high when they act. And it takes away from not only from their performance, but then the audience checks out. And then the next thing you know, they're talking about you on Rotten Tomatoes that your movie sucks because you, you caused the downfall of the entire film because the way you were acting. So, just think about that being an actor in Hollywood. Everybody's under scrutiny, whether you're in politics, whether you're in religion, whether you're in Hollywood, whether you're a singer, painter, whatever you are, we're always, as people, under scrutiny. So now that you know that, work on being better in front of the camera, because millions of people are not behind the camera, but they are watching you from their homes and cell phones and iPads and all that other stuff. They are watching you from a different media platform. So yeah, millions, maybe billions of people are watching you. But when you're on set, it's probably like 5, 10 people watching you, sometimes less, sometimes more. It just depends on how big the production is. So just know, like, don't be that flat actor, or don't be that over the top actor, and don't be the actor who's reading from cue cards. Just when you get the script, study your lines. It's very simple. Study your lines. Even if you got to act against yourself in a room, just read the lines and stand up and act and listen to yourself. Listening is very crucial. That's a lot of thing a lot of actors don't do either, which, sometimes I've been on sets where other actors are running over other actors' lines because they're so quick to act that they're not even listening to their scene partner. And that makes it kind of hard. And people don't know what a scene partner is, the person who's in the scene with you. So even if it's not your scene partner, it's just still someone across from you, and listen to what they say. Let them get it all out. Unless it's in the script that you cut them off, then that's different. That's a different part of the acting game. There's a whole lot of levels that I can't even fit into this podcast of the acting game in Hollywood. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Like I said, DM me, whatever you need. I'm on YouTube. Make your comments on YouTube. Let me know your thoughts. And you can even ask me like the different levels as far as acting goes. Sometimes there's emotional actors who thrive off of just the emotion of the scene and what drives the scene. And, they're thinking about, okay, why? And, they get real deep. You also have actors who they have to be in a real life situation in order to feel what the character should feel. Because maybe in their life, which is another one you got to think about, life scenarios. So a lot of screenwriters write from life-like scenarios, or scenarios that happen in real life. So life imitates art, art imitates life. It's a known fact. So if you're playing the role of like a crackhead, somebody that does meth, a lot of times they're real twitchy, or, a lot of times they're always scratching their chest area, they're always doing this all the time. And yeah, man. So, I'm going down to Marks, and Marks there, what I mean, man, I'm just, it's daylight out. Yeah. So, man, can I, the car just crashed into the wall with the soda in it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So but some people can go there like that, or some people literally have to go to an area where people who are on meth or on certain kind of drugs, crack, cocaine, or whatever, to get that real feeling. Like they're very methodical and they're method actors, and they really need to be in the zone. And then there's some people who watch a lot of movies and watch a lot of things that happen in life, and they can almost copycat that emotion without having to be method with it, but you would never know. You see what I'm saying? So that's just some examples that I'm giving you. But whatever happens, guess what they all do? They all stand behind the clapper, right? I know, me and that clapper. Anyway, man, like I said, this is your host, China McCoy, man. I love you guys. Thank you for always tuning in. Again, I'm on YouTube at the Acting Chops Network. You can find me on IG at the Acting Chops Podcast. Look me up. Help me get to 100 subscribers on YouTube because it's a brand new channel. So the Acting Chops Network on YouTube. Subscribe. Like. I hate saying that, you know what I mean? Because I don't feel like I always have to say subscribe and like, and that's why I was kind of like lollygagging with it just now, because I just feel like if you like what I'm doing, you're naturally going to subscribe. And if you subscribe, that means you like what I'm doing. And if you have any comments, once again, check the DM, type in the DM and leave me a DM and I'll get right back to you. You are going to start hearing from my host, my co-host, Tiffany Tony. She is amazing. She is a fantastic host. She's on set right now, and check her out, Tiffany Tony. Well, actually, it's check out on IG. It's at Tiffany __ Tony, Toney. She really specifies that. She is she's a firecracker, boy. I'm telling you. She's always been a partner in crime, and she's always been my best friend. And check her out, you know what I mean? So you'll be able to see her pretty soon once she gets finished doing what she has to do with her projects. And all right, I'm out of here. See you on the next episode. Peace.